Part 4. Listen to an interview between a host and a film director, named Joseph Kaplan, about 3D effects in films. As you listen, choose the correct answers for questions 18 to 24. You now have 30 seconds to look at the questions. Now listen carefully and indicate your answers on the answer sheet.
We're very privileged to have Joseph Kaplan with us today. As many of our listeners know, Mr. Kaplan is the director of the award-winning movie, The Conquest. Thank you, Mr. Kaplan, for taking the time to be with us.
I'm very glad to be here.
What do you think the 3D effect of The Conquest has demonstrated to the moviegoers of today?
We've demonstrated that the 3D market is an extremely lucrative market, and this is not a fad. This is not something that is going to go away. It's going to be interesting because 3D TVs are going to change things.
Why do you think 3D televisions are not riding on the wave of technologically inspired entertainment?
Producing live 3D television is very expensive. Figure the cost of a production, whether a sporting event or music event. The incremental cost of shooting in 3D versus 2D is almost lost in the noise of that budget.
Do you think the 3D success of The Conquest is going to change the way movies are financed?
People ignore the fact that we natively authored the film in 3D and decide that what we accomplished in several years of production could be done in 8 weeks. Bad 3D movies will threaten the emerging 3D industry. I believe that producers have to take that into consideration.
As a filmmaker, do you have to think differently about making a 3D movie because the TVs are coming out?
No, there are a number of myths that have been deleterious to the progress of 3D, and one of them is that you generate different 3D for different size displays. If you are going to make content for something the size of a mobile phone, you might want to push the stereo space a little bit more, but generally speaking, you don't.
Are there different skills in making a 3D movie compared to a 2D one?
In anything that is new, there will be a learning curve. It's not a steep one or a prohibitive one, but it's there and producers need to test things out, figure it out, and go do their job.
Do you think there will be a big variation of the quality of 3D TV sets?
The sets I've seen have all looked pretty good. I think the real issue is going to be getting content to the screens.
Should the existing film catalogue be converted to 3D?
If it's done well, I think it should be driven by the artist. If Star Wars gets converted into 3D, I think George Lucas should do it. If Terminator gets converted into 3D, I should do it.
Will consumers accept 3D TV in the home?
I think they'll accept it. The incremental cost is not that high. People love 3D and are seeking out the premium experience of 3D. The big question mark is the content.
Well, thanks again for your interesting input.
That is the end of Part 4. Now turn to Part 5.